Alright, so if you're a career mode player for a long time, you'll notice how the match simulation is just so broken to the point that it just sucks the enjoyment out of the career mode in FIFA 18 and even 17. Now, basically, what is wrong with it? What's wrong with the simulation? Oh, when all the results get generated, including the goals, the assists, and the points of different teams, they just don't seem all that real. So, I've been digging a lot on this specific thing. I've been going through a lot of files, especially since I'm a PC player. And yeah, so I downloaded this tool. I've been editing and modding games for a while, especially FIFA. And after they switched to Frostbite engine, you have to use this tool in order to edit and view game files. So it's easy. If you just Google it, you'll find it. So yeah, I downloaded and installed this program, and when it first opened, it told me to generate some files on my FIFA 18 folder. So I hit yes, and then I get this page. Now, what you want to do is go to FIFA and go to Legacy Viewer. This will show you the files that you will need to see all the career mode, configuration files. So after you expand to data and click on it, you'll see multiple different files. Now the main culprit in career mode is this file called simsettings.ini. Now this is the file that generates all the results of all the matches, as well as goals, assists, red card, injuries, and anything match related stuff gets generated here. This is the reason why you will see a lot of times that you can easily win the league with 74 points, which is a bit unrealistic, because in reality, teams like Chelsea, got like 93 points last season, and then before that, Leicester City, I think, got like 86 points or something. Teams needs at least like 85 plus points to win the league. But in FIFA, the maximum you see a team gets in order to win the league is 78 points, which is a bit unrealistic, as well as the number of goals scored. That is also not real. You would see a goal difference of 32, and then they still somehow won the league. And as well as, crappy teams can sometimes be in the top 4. Teams like Stoke City, Southampton, and what else? Everton, even Newcastle. They're sometimes you can see them on the top 4 for no reason. So, all in all, I'll show you why it's broken. Now, another thing you would notice that is broken too is who scores the goal and who assists. Players like midfielders, scores like 19 goals, in a whole season, whereas players like Kane, Aguero, Lukaku, and players like that barely scores any goals. Now, all of those are broken, and I'll show you why. So first thing first, just export the sim settings. I'll export it in here, and I will export it there. So once you export it, you can open the file, and you'll see a bunch of configuration. Now I'll switch it to C++. Okay, there you go. I'm using Notepad++. It makes it easier, but hell, you can use Notepad if you want. Anyway, so yeah. So I want to start with the first broken thing. So if I scroll down, you will see things like ID values for attributes. So basically each attribute has a unique ID assigned to it. So for example, 0 is acceleration, 1 is sprint speed. Now, and 100 equals form. And then based on the attributes, it kind of figures out who will score the goal, who will get the assist, and who will get the cards, and who will get an injury, and who will get the penalty. We'll figure those out using this attribute, where 0 is acceleration and, volley is 25. So we'll use those in here and do a bit of math and figure out who scores the goals. Now, like I said, like normally in real life, a player can score like 26, 27 goals in a season. But in FIFA, the maximum I've seen a player score is like 20, 21. And it's usually like a winger or a midfielder, not like a striker, not someone you would expect to be there. I've seen really random players be the top scorer. Same with the assist. It just doesn't make sense. Now, I'll show you why it's broken right now. But first, let me explain how this works. So basically, this specifies the number of attributes. So you can see it says 5, and this is the list of those attributes. So 17 equals heading, which it gets the value from this guide thing that they use. Now, based on the attribute, it increases the chance. So for example, if the player is good at heading, then it will take that value and it will be a chance. So for example, if you have someone like Morata who's really good at heading, and if I put that on 100%, so it will check the team and it will check the player who has the highest heading value, and they will most likely score. So basically this is how it sorts out who's gonna score. So this is just a arbitrary value and they add up to 100, so it always needs to add up to 100, which is the chance. So for example, if a player has like really good heading and everything, it'll be like, yep, check, so 1% added to that. And if the player is like on the same position, like for example this one is their main position is attack, so the person that's gonna score is most likely gonna be someone who is on the attack position, which basically means the wingers and your strikers. So that will increase the chance, 5% chance if the player is an attacker. And if the player is good at finishing, it will increase the chance by 66. And the maximum they can be added up is 100%. So that's basically how it works. And whenever you want to inverse the effect, you just put minus. So when it says -5, it just means that it says it in here. So if the player, it's so strange. So it just means that if the player has I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how this works. I guess it reduces the chance if the player is tired. I guess that's what it means. But their documentation is so broken. Usually I set it to 0 because this doesn't really work well. But that's not the main broken thing in here. There's a huge broken thing. So as you can see, it assigns the attribute based on this list. But the main problem is, okay, let me show you. So now I will export the which one was it? It's one of these. So I'll export one of these. I don't remember which one it was. It wasn't this one. I bet it's this one. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Now I'm gonna go to C++. So this one has a list of all the attributes, which is the same globally in this FIFA. Now you will see that this one has 33 attributes, the last one being 33. And now if I go here, this one has 32. And you'd be thinking, what the fuck is happening? Well, I'm not sure which FIFA, I think FIFA 16 or 17, they introduce a new attribute called composure, right? Now, oh my god, I've never seen so much laziness in a FIFA team before. So basically the FIFA team is so bloody lazy that they didn't update this list. See, there's no composure here. 9 should be composure, but they skipped it and went to tactical awareness, which is 10. So basically it missed an attribute. So it should be in here 9 equals player attribute composure. Now whenever, you know how this is a unique ID, which means if this is 9, this cannot be 9, so this has to be 10, which means this is 11, which means this is 12. Now you see where I'm heading, right? Which mean all of these shooting attributes that are listed here are all wrong. So it's basically when it says that 17 equals heading, 17 is not heading. 17 is free kick accuracy. So it basically checks the free kick accuracy, and what is 15? The dribbling, and what is 9? Composure, and 22. What is 22? Shot power. You know, which isn't that bad, but it misses finishing, which is the main thing when calculating who scores, and it just completely ignores it because no one bothers to update this, you know, which causes a chain reaction that, you know, breaks shooting, assist, because it all takes this attribute list, which is wrong. You know, when they added the composure stat, they didn't update it on the same settings. Like they just don't give a shit about career mode, honestly. So all of this is broken. That's why you get random people that have the highest assists, random players that have the highest goals, like players you wouldn't even expect to be there. You know? Yeah. And things like weight, these are not even done good. You know, the difference between the first top player and the second top player needs to be more. So there's just so many things that's wrong in here, you know, including this scale where it specifies which team is gonna score. You can see how close it is for, you know, like bad teams versus good teams. That's why you see, you know, good teams losing and drawing so much and shitty teams at the top 4 position, because the difference isn't enough. That's why you don't get competitive league. That's why it's so easy to win the league, because all of this is wrong. Like the scale needs to be higher and all of that. So I spent a lot of time and I managed to fix it. Okay, actually I should keep this. So where is the thing that I fixed? So I spent like 2 hours trying to fix this. So this is the one I fixed. So I increased the scale so that it shows more difference between good teams and bad teams, so you get more competitive leagues, teams having like 90, 93 points and winning the league. You can see like teams like Chelsea, Man City, Manchester United winning the league by a lot of points and competing on the top 3, and it's just good. And I also fixed this whole attribute list. So that now I see players like Kane, Salah, and Morata, Lukaku, even Aubameyang, on the top scorer list. All those players, as well as assists. I can see players like Fabregas, De Bruyne, and who else was it? And Hazard, and what else? Even Pogba, assisting a lot, and carding attributes work. I fixed all of this and I improved the weight. You can see, let me compare them so you can see what I changed. So yeah, as you can see, I increased the scales from 8 to 9 to just get more difference. I modified all these values to get more competitive league, and I increased the difference between good teams versus bad teams when simulating, and tweak some substitution, because man, oh man, substitution they pick is so bad and sometimes they barely substitute. So this should increase that, and also increase the influence so that rating matters more and home advantage matters less. And match importance, that doesn't work. The way they calculate match importance doesn't work, so I just set it to 0. I increased the number of incidents so we could get more goals, like matches that ends up like 6-0. They don't happen frequently, but they sometimes happen if it's a really good team versus a really bad team. And I fixed all this attribute ID, which was wrong, and updated all of them. So 17 to 18, just increased it by 1 because there was that missing composure stat. And as you can see, I changed the weight so it increases the difference between the first top pick player versus the second top pick player. All in all, I'm really enjoying this. I'm getting the most realistic simulation in my game. And simulation is an important aspect because it simulates the league standings, it simulates the goal scorers, and it keeps the immersion alive. So yeah, I will update my patch again to use the new sim settings that I've just updated, and that should work for FIFA 17 and 18. And heck, any FIFA, honestly, from FIFA 12, because they never changed that. They never changed the match simulation, and they kept it broken for so long. Alright, so that should be the end of this video. If you guys have any more question about the career mode, just let me know and I can help you out. Goodbye.